The return of Molly, an explorer's base, and what actually happened to the Rising Volt Tacklers. Let's talk about Pokemon Horizons episode 94. At the start of this episode, Liko and Roy are at a Pokemon Center when they overhear someone talking about their Pokemon getting sick in a nearby forest, so they go out to investigate, where they run into none other than Molly. Turns out she's been working at the Pokemon Center that they were just at, alongside her family. She wasn't at the Pokemon Center because she heard about the Pokemon getting sick in the forest and went to treat them. This was also a good callback to her entire reason for joining the Rising Volt Tacklers in the first place, which was to be a Pokemon doctor for the wild Pokemon who generally don't get taken to Pokemon Centers. So I'm glad the writers know their characters. As the three catch up about their time apart, Liko and Roy mention they reformed the Rising Volt Tacklers, to which Molly has a problem with. This is finally where we get a flashback and some explanation as to why they disbanded in the first place. I loved getting to see such raw emotion out of Roy and Dot in this flashback. Even Liko had her moment where she recognized why the adults made the decision to disband. Even though Molly recommends they drop the name, we get another amazing moment like we did a couple episodes ago where Roy and Liko proudly proclaim their allegiance to the Rising Volt Tacklers. And it also made me rethink the episode before this because it initially felt like filler, but now I realized it was great motivation for them to continue clearing the Rising Volt Tackler's name. After this, they hear the sounds of more poison Pokemon before we realize it's another Lockweum affected Pokemon. This time it's a Vileplume. Okay, how many times are we going to do this plotline? Well, actually, I think this one's probably the best iteration so far, because Molly mentions that it normally is a nice Pokemon that lives in the forest, but now it's taken over by Lockweum and is going crazy. I also really enjoy the battle. I had thought Roy's Lucario was a little too overpowered so far, so it's nice to see that it can't defeat literally everything. Not only that, but Liko and Roy's starter Pokemon are pretty ineffective here, leaving it mostly up to Hattrem. But since she's not really an attacker, she gets really scared. This is where the entire group works together and they have great synergy. Side note, I'm so glad we got the Goats Mousehold back in this episode. They're my favorite Gen 9 Pokemon and they actually have some good moments in this battle, like when they use Tidy Up to fend off Vileplume's Effect Spore with the help of Roy's Kilowattrel and Cap, and then they use Follow Me to distract it while Hattrem uses a move. And Hattrem also Terastalizes here, which was awesome, and instead of attacking it, Hattrem learns Healing Wish to stop Vileplume's rampage. I loved getting to see it find its own way to deal with the Lockweum affected Pokemon. With the battle finished and Vileplume healed, Liko and Roy take the opportunity to invite Molly back to travel with them, but she decides to stay behind and mentions that she'd be open to rejoining them if they had a ship that could fly around. I hope this is teasing for the return of the Brave Olivine and other crew members. We also get some foreshadowing to Exceed selling the Lockweum spheres that Spinel used on the 6 heroes back at Lockwa to the public. The episode ends with Roy and Liko stumbling on an explorer's facility, which looks like they're pumping Lockweum straight into the forest. What an ending, man. I can't wait for what's to come. This arc is getting really good.